This is a Wild Games Production podcast.
Hey folks, Evil VM here, the podfather of OSR podcasting, back with another episode, daily episode. I don't know how long I'm going to keep doing these, but we'll see what happens. Anyway, today I was sitting here thinking about sci-fi games and space exploration games like Star Trek and Star Wars, but a little less maybe space opera. Got me thinking, I designed an entire map in Photoshop of basically a space map of, I guess, the universe. I had a Terran Alliance, the Biog Empire, the Krek Confederacy, the Throth Dominion, the Crystal Empire, the Sirth Consortium, and the Hunan Space. And each of these little space areas had their own little, I guess, planets or stars or locations that I've never fleshed out. And maybe it's time to kind of look at that map again as I'm sitting here staring at it and the star field and all the little trade routes that I made and the little circles for the planets and stars or whatever systems you want to call it. I haven't figured it out. Each have their own little name. It's probably about 50, maybe 60 on here, maybe closer to 70 something. I don't know. I haven't really counted it out, but it's a pretty large map that when I open it in Photoshop, I have to open it up in only at 33% just to even see the map. Otherwise, it'd just be across the page and you wouldn't be able to see it anymore. But I kind of like seeing a space exploration game where you're just some normal people flying around in the ship and exploring, trying to survive. I mean, I guess people want to equate that to Firefly or the Expanse, I guess, or possibly Dark Matter, one of those type of TV shows where you're just normal humans. I kind of like that idea, and I feel that it'd be a great game. And if I ever can get this second edition of my game off the ground for Mazes and Perils, I can use that as a jumping off point for a rule set so I can get this going, but it's sitting there a little bit in limbo at the moment as we try to figure out the layout of the system. But the Terran Alliance is where I have the humans in it, and they actually did not put a planet Earth. I actually called the main place where Earth is Paradise. And then as they branched out, I kind of named it other names. Like in the second place they did was Paradise 2. And then I had like all these other names. I kind of, Delrun 2, Delrun 3, Delrun 4, Azoth, Hamrin, Recluse, Runzar. I just kind of started naming them randomly. And the excuses that I used for the naming sequence on most of these were the founders of these little planets, so to speak, or these little settlements here, or whoever discovered it and claimed it. That's how the name. These were names of actual people in the Alliance as it grew and grew and grew and has its own space territory. I don't know. I kind of had a little story going, and I dropped it because I just didn't have the time for it. But now that I have a lot of time and I'm working from home and there's not a lot to do, I kind of sat down and started jotting down ideas for this space type game in this weird Expanse galaxy that I have no idea what I'm going to name or what I'm going to name the game, but I just thought it was interesting to talk about because that's what's going on in my mind right now. And I'm not even sure what the ships would look like in this. Would they be like Star Wars type ships? Star Trek type ships? I mean, just general ships? I don't know. I'm not sure what I would do with this exactly. I know I have a map. I have an idea in my head. I just need to get it on some paper and start thinking about how it would look and how it would work. Now, if I was someone as awesome like, I don't know, James Spawn, he'd probably be able to look at this map and be like, boom, got it. Have a book written in 3 days because he's that damn good at writing books. I'm not so good. But yeah, it's a fun little thing. Even if nothing happens from it, it's a fun little, I guess, experiment to sit down and play and see how it works out. I don't know. Tell me what you think. Leave a voicemail. Give me a email at askthedm@theevildm.com. Come here to anchor.fm/theevildm and leave me a voicemail here. You can also support the podcast here on Anchor FM as well by hitting the support button right below when you get here. Head over to my website, theevildm.com, and you can see a little bit more about the stuff that's going on. Check out Instagram, theevildm, X is my Instagram, and you can check out little things that I'm doing on there. I usually post up that I'm reading something or what I'm doing throughout the day if I have some time to post up an interesting thing. Generally, I stick to the youtube.com/theevildm or this here. The classic Face Rip podcast should be coming out, actually, again, for those that have listened to that podcast in the past. So I think this should be out the same day that podcast will be starting on my YouTube channel again, live around 7 p.m. Eastern Time on youtube.com/theevildm. So with that said, I'm going to say keep it original, keep it old school, and Podfather out.